So, jetzt gibt es noch einen kleinen Nachschlag. Johnny hat mich gerade gebeten, dass wir hier nochmal bei den AV-Receivern drüber schwenken. Der Cinema 70 kommt ja in Kürze raus, ganz drüben hinter dem Herrn, der sich da drüber beugt. Und dann die kommen alle ein Stückchen später. Und jetzt reden wir über den Cinema 40. Gary, do you know when this one will be launched?
Cinema 40 is expected to launch at the end of February next year.
Okay, so quite along with the other products.
That's right, yeah.
Basically. And this one will be the successor of 7015.
Kind of. None of the Cinema series products are necessarily a direct replacement for an SR equivalent. I would say that Cinema 40 performance is quite a bit superior to what you could achieve with an SR 7015. So in terms of comparison, it might be a bit closer to 8015, but it has the same channel count as a 7015.
Okay, understood.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the main differentiation in your opinion to the actual product lineup, aside from all the aesthetics?
Yeah. So Cinema 40 is built on a new DSP architecture. So this enables us to process 11.4 channels. The 0.4 is interesting because each of the 4 subwoofer outputs can be operated completely independently of one another. So that means we can put 4 subwoofers into a room, tune them all individually so that we get the best bass balance within the room, but we can still route LFE to all of those subwoofers at once, each with individual tuning. So I think that's quite a remarkable improvement. In the old line, in the SR series, only the 8015 and above were built in Shirakawa at our factory in Japan. Now Cinema 40 is built in Shirakawa as well. So as you touch the product and you take a look at the product, you can see that the build quality is substantially higher than what you would have expected with the older SR series.
Is this all built with aluminum?
All built with aluminum, yes. Mm-hmm.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Now comes a very difficult question.
Okay.
If a friend of yours approaches you and he already uses, let's say, a Marantz 7015 with a nice 5.1 configured home theater with Odyssey, would you recommend him to upgrade to this receiver, considering that he does not use the channel count this device offers?
Yes, I would. If his motivation is sound quality, then the upgrade to Cinema series is quite significant.
Okay.
As we had on the AV10, there are HDAM improvements in the Cinema 40 as well. So even if you're simply listening to 2 channels, you'll still benefit from the distortion reduction that we have in the new Cinema series.
By the way, can you confirm that with all the new Denon and Marantz devices, by the way, the new remote, we will talk about that later, with all those upcoming devices, it's possible to individually switch off those amplification channels?
That's confirmed, yes.
Ah, that's so cool.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's quite an improvement as well. As you recall from the old SR series, preamp mode was all or nothing. But now we have the ability to selectively disable channels, so that way if perhaps you want to add a 2-channel amplifier for the left and right mains, you can do that. If you want to add a 5-channel amplifier for the main 5 channels, you can do that and still use the built-in amplification for the other channels.
That's cool.
And when you disable those amplifier channels, you actually get higher performance from the line level signal in the unit itself. So it's not only an addition of power when you add an amplifier, you get better sound quality.
I know, I did some measurements on that with the current lineup.
Yeah,
yes.
That's right, yeah.
And this is something I'm missing from other manufacturers like Yamaha, for example.
Yes.
They don't offer this technology right now.
Good, even more benefit to stick with Marantz.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. The reason why we actually prefer Yamaha devices in certain installations is that we, as a professional installers, are able to manually set up the home theaters way better than with the current lineup. Do you have information which features the new lineup actually includes to do equalizing and stuff like that?
Yeah, so not at launch, but in March of next year, we will release a software update that enables us to skip the automated setup process entirely and go straight to like a master setup mode, where you can go into each channel individually and configure it on its own based on its inputs, its outputs, its crossovers, and so on.
What about equalization?
Equalization, I don't believe, is included as a manual edit in the channels, but you can do that within the Odyssey app. You can go in and build your own EQ curves within Odyssey on a per channel basis.
So most probably still no manually
there's no PEQ built in per channel. Correct.
Okay. And you still can't use both at the same time, the graphic equalizer and Odyssey or Direct. So
Correct.
you're focusing on doing all the equalization stuff in the room EQ.
That's right, yeah.
Software. Okay, basically one last point. This is the new remote you just mentioned.
It is.
I put it over there so you can film it better. This one is made of plastic, and I think when it will be combined with the processor, it will have a much more
correct.
Nicer
yeah, the
surface.
fundamental design of the remote is the same across the entire line. However, with Cinema 70S, the remote is plastic as a bit of a cost savings. But when you get up into the higher priced products, you have the same smooth anodized aluminum top plate that you find on our high-end hi-fi pieces. And as such, the weighting is a bit more substantial, so it's very comfortable to hold and very comfortable to use. That said, all of the remotes also have built-in backlighting, so you get nice soft white backlighting through the buttons, so it's very easy to use at night.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not visible right now.
No, it's a very bright show floor, yeah.
Sure. Okay, so basically, is there anything I forgot that you like to mention in addition to what we already talked about?
Yeah, I think you covered the basics.
Okay.
You know, one last point, Cinema 40 still has a holdover analog video input, so if you have any legacy customers that are still using you know, older you know, tape machines or something like that, we can still run that through Cinema 40, but this is the last product in the AVR line that has that analog video input.
Well, in the past 5 years, I never had one customer asking for that, but
the trouble is, once you finally take it away, then you'll have somebody that asked.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, let's wrap it up. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Oh, thank you for your interest.
Sure.
Cheers.